and welcome to Online Business Uncovered. This is episode 160, and in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how you can sell your offers without needing to be on all of the time. So let's jump right in and let's get started. Welcome to Online Business Uncovered, the show that lifts the lid on what it really takes to turn your brilliance into digital products, passive income, and time freedom. I am your host, Karen, an online business strategist, course creation expert, and your go-to for building a business that works for you and not the other way around. If you are an ambitious entrepreneur feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, or maybe you're just ready for a smarter, more sustainable way to grow, then you're in the right place. Because each week I'll be bringing you inspiring conversations, practical strategies, and step-by-step guidance to help you create scalable, repeatable digital products that sell even while you sleep. So if you're ready to stop trading your time for money, reclaim your time, and finally build a business that gives you the freedom that you deserve, hit subscribe and tune in every Thursday. Let's uncover what's truly possible for you, starting now. Hello and welcome to Online Business Uncovered. This is the show that helps you turn your expertise into digital products, passive income, and of course, time freedom. I'm your host, Karen, and I really do appreciate you hitting the play button to listen to today's episode. So today I wanted to talk about making money. If your business only makes money when you are actively showing up, posting, selling or talking to people, then it can feel exhausting. And more importantly, it's not sustainable. So today I wanted to show you what it can look like instead and how you can start building a business that actually supports you rather than a business that depends on you. I wanted to start with something that I see a lot. Maybe you are somebody that is showing up, you're posting your content, you're sharing your value, and you're doing everything that you've been told to do, but yet your sales are inconsistent. Some weeks you may make sales and other weeks it's completely quiet. And when you really look at it, your sales tend to be directly linked to whether or not you have been on. So what that means is if you show up more, you make more sales. But if you show up less, then you don't make sales. And that's where the pressure will start to build, because it means that, in all honesty, you can't switch off. You can't step back, and you certainly can't take time out without worrying about your income dropping. And that's not freedom. That's not why you've created your business. That's being stuck, and it's been on a hamster wheel of having to be available all of the time in order to do what you need to do to make that money. Way back when I had my branding studio, the reality was that I really only made money when I was picking up clients, when I was finding clients to work with, and they commissioned me or my team to work on their branding or build their websites or to carry out creative services. So everything that I made in terms of my income solely relied on the effort that I put in. And back in 2020, when I moved into the online course space, one of the reasons why I made that shift was because I had an online course and it was selling and it was making money when I wasn't there. And I was also at the time selling digital products as well. And I remember in 2022 taking, I think it was 2022, it might be 2023, taking my kids to Florida and being in the parks and actually having sales come through. People were purchasing my resources and my products whilst I wasn't at my desk. So I was legitimately making money away from my desk. So I wasn't on. I wasn't having to be available in order to make those sales. And I think when that happens, you realize just how much time you actually do give to showing up and delivering services, and how so much easier it is, or how much simpler it can be when you start creating offers that you can sell on repeat. And when I started building really simple systems that supported my sales process, I'm not talking complicated funnels or stacking loads of tech, just a really clear journey that worked with my content. That's when, for me, things really started to change. Now, you don't need to be on all of the time in order to make sales, but you do need to do something that works behind the scenes. Now, over the previous 2 episodes, episode 158 and episode 159, I have been talking about developing systems to support you with your audience growth and what you can do in order to bring your ideal people into your world so that you can nurture them and you can build relationships with them and that trust so that they can buy from you. So today I'm going to be talking about the sales piece of it. What does it look like to have a simple system in place to support you with your sales so that you don't have to be on all of the time? Now, your content, of course, does play a big part in this, because when we share content, we're sharing value, and we can use that content in order to bring people into our world. But it's not about disappearing and hoping for the best. It's about being intentional with where your content is leading your audience. So instead of posting something and then hoping something's going to happen from it and then wondering why nothing is happening, it's about creating content, whether you have a lead magnet or some kind of free masterclass or something where you bring people into your world, you nurture them, you then present the right offer to them at the right time so that you can make that sale. And that's it. That's how simple it needs to be. Simple but powerful. Because now your content has a job. It's not just there for you to waste time on. It's there to be helpful. It's there to help people move from where they are to where they want to be. So when we're talking about using content in our marketing, that's why we are creating content, because we want to educate, we want to inspire, we want to provide insights, we want to showcase our expertise, and we want our audience ultimately to get to know us, to build that know, like, and trust. But when you put content out into the world and you create the intention around it for what you want people to do, that's when your content really becomes powerful, because it has a purpose. The purpose is to bring people into your world. Remember, we do not own these social media platforms. We can leverage these platforms so that they work for us, but we don't own them. So we have to find a way to bring our audience off these platforms and bring them into our worlds, bring them into your email list, because your email list is your asset that you own. So you want to be thinking about, what is it that I can create that is going to take somebody from seeing me on Instagram or seeing me on LinkedIn or seeing me on Facebook or TikTok or wherever. How can I bring them into my world, because they're my ideal person? I want them on my list so that I can develop that relationship with them, I can build that communication, I can nurture them, I can support them, and then I can sell something at the right time for something what they're going to need. And I think when we start looking at things like that, it becomes more purposeful. So we want to really break it down. So I'm going to share 4 simple steps so that you can actually start implementing this. So the first step is having a really clear entry point. This could be some kind of free resource, a lead magnet, something that can entice somebody to give you their information so that they can access something of value to them. because this is how people move from your content into your world. It needs to be simple, it needs to be specific, and it needs to solve a small problem. Now, if there's no next step, then people will just move on. So we want to make sure that your lead magnet signposts your audience to the next step. I have a free ebook called 10 Steps to Online Course Success. I created it about 4 years ago. So it's quite an old lead magnet, but I created it because I wanted to break down the course creation process. I wanted to make it really simplified so that my audience who are curious about online courses would understand exactly what that process entails. So I created this free resource and I share it online, not so much now because I have various other offers that I put out, but that always builds my email list because people will sign up for it. And what that means is that the people that sign up for it, they're interested in creating an online course. So they're coming into my world through this free resource. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. It could be a cheat sheet. It could be a masterclass. It could be a simple guide how to do something. It could be something that gives your audience information about something that they're interested in that's going to solve a small problem. My lead magnet, 10 Steps to Online Course Success, gave them clarity. It broke down the course creation process and it helped them to understand exactly what was involved. And then what I did afterwards is I directed them to a very small offer, which was my Easy Course Kickstarter Kit. So they may download the freebie, but then they're also given the option to take the first step, which is the Easy Course Kickstarter Kit, because this kit has the first 3 steps to help them plan out their online course. So very intentional, very specific, and it solved a small problem. The second tip I would share with you is having a nurture process. This is essential, but it's a piece that a lot of people skip. The time when you want to send somebody an email is the time that they sign up, not a week later, not a month later. You want to send something straight away. You've created a freebie. Now you want to nurture them. You want to give them more of you so you can build trust. This is where people understand what you do, where they start to see how you can actually help them. This is going to be in the format of emails, and you can create a very short email sequence. It doesn't need to be complicated, but every email that you send out has a purpose. It has an intention. And ultimately what you're doing with your audience is you're building that know, like, and trust. Tip 3 is about having a really clear offer. So you're going to want something at some point where you can invite your audience to take the next step. So the freebie is great because the freebie is a magnet, but at some point you want to turn that into a sale. So you want to invite people to take the next step. You don't want to assume they know. You want to guide them to that place. And that is sharing with them how you can help them further. So for me, as I mentioned, it was about having the Easy Course Kickstarter Kit. A really simple kit. It's a low entry price. I think my kit is about £27. It's not expensive, but it's enough to get them started. It's a no-brainer offer for those people that are coming into your world. So what can you create that's going to give them the next step in the problem they're trying to solve? And then tip 4 is having a really simple system set up. This is where the magic happens, because this is where you can start automating it, so you don't have to be there to do it. Because once it's set up, you're not starting from scratch every single time you post. Your content's going to feed into a system, and your audience will be on a journey within that system. And then you can start making money when you're not at your desk. That is the truth and the reality of it. Because once you bake in a system that walks somebody from a freebie to an offer, and you nurture them and build that trust with them, then you're going to get those sales. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be something that is really, really simple. It's going to be about the quality of the emails that you write, how you write them, and what you're leading them to. And I think with sales, it's about having the right offer to the right people at the right time for the right reasons at the right cost. And if you can achieve that and get those sales, then this system is something that can grow and scale. So you may have an offer that is a low entry point. So, for example, my Easy Course Kickstarter kit is £27. But £27 over a long time for many people buying it compounds. So although that entry offer seems low, it's a scalable offer, meaning it doesn't matter whether one person buys it, 10 people buy it, 1,000 people buy it, or 1 million people. It doesn't matter. What your job is about creating that content that attracts those people, so that you bring them into that world where you can present that offer, so you can generate those sales because you have a system set up. Now, when you build something like this, I think something really powerful starts to happen, because you stop relying on just posting, you stop relying on being on all the time, and you stop relying on manually selling every single day. Instead, what you'll start to see are people signing up while you're offline, while you're spending time with your favorite people. You'll start to see sales coming in without having to have those conversations all the time. Because although it's great to have conversations, I love having conversations. I love having one-to-ones. I love speaking to people. I think business fundamentally is about relationships. I think relationships is the currency of business. So I don't want to diminish the role of having a conversation with somebody in your business. I think there's a time and a place for that, but not for low entry offers to get people started. And the thing is, when you're jumping on calls to have conversations all of the time just to make a sale, what you're doing is you're giving your time, your energy to something, and it's solely relying on you doing that to get that income. So this way, you can start having sales come in without having those conversations. It's going to give you that time back so you can focus on other things. And it's also going to help build momentum without having to put in more effort. And I think that's when your business starts to shift from being reactive to repeatable. That's when the difference happens. So right now, if you're starting to feel like your business is dependent on you all of the time, I don't want you to sit there thinking that you need to do more. You do not need to do more. Okay? I think it's a natural human trait to go inwards and think, this isn't happening. It has to be about what I'm not doing. It isn't about doing more. Instead, I encourage you to ask yourself, what is my current content leading to? Do I have a clear journey behind it? Or am I relying on visibility alone to create sales? Because visibility without direction is going to lead to burnout. So if you are ready to change and implement a very simple system into your business that gives you more time and not take that time away from you, then this is what I help with inside my membership, Sell Your Brilliance Online. We focus on turning what you know into a simple, scalable offer and then building the systems around it that allows you to sell and repeat without you having to be on all the time. Now, if you want to find out more about that, then head on over to my website, www.sellyourbrillianceonline.com/membership. It's only £47 a month and you can cancel at any time. But if you are serious about getting your time back and selling on repeat without you being there to do it, then check out my membership, come into my membership and let me support you with getting this done. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope this episode has given you some clarity and sparked new ideas for your business. If you have found this helpful, then please share it with a friend or a fellow entrepreneur who's also building their online business, because this might be exactly what they need to hear today. And if this episode has you thinking that you're ready to start turning your expertise into income, then I would love to invite you into my membership, Sell Your Brilliance Online. Head on over to my website, www.sellyourbrillianceonline.com/membership. I will be back next week with another episode, but until then, have a great week. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Online Business Uncovered. If today's conversation has sparked an idea or gave you a dose of clarity, then please make sure to check out the show notes for all the links and resources mentioned. New episodes land every Thursday, so hit follow or subscribe to stay in the loop. And if you're loving the show, a quick rating or review goes a long way in helping more brilliant entrepreneurs like you find this show. Until next time, keep showing up, keep sharing your brilliance, and remember, freedom in business is possible, and it starts with taking the next right step.